What's up there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are playing more Fernbus Simulator. Today we are going to be talking more about the console version following the latest news updates. And today we are going to be driving this little route that I've put together here, which is going to be starting at Frankfurt and working round in a clockwise direction until we eventually end up in the centre of this little map on the screen here at Frankfurt Airport. So yeah, really hope you enjoy this video. We'll see how we get on. We may have to split this one up into a couple of different parts, but I do want to talk about the console version. Firstly, what we'll do is hit next, and then we will hit start game. As you can see, I've customized my livery here just to make it rather, I don't know, Brett the Hitman Hart looking. Bit of pink and black on the attack, why not? So we'll hit start, and if you do enjoy this video, please do hit the like, and if you want to see more videos like this, then I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel and become part of interacting with me. I'd love that. That would be fantastic. So let's get started. We'll head to the bus, we'll get the door open, we'll climb up, take a seat, we'll fire up the ignition. I will also hit the destination, start the engine, switch on the aircon. We will close this door with F9 like so. We will also hold down the brake, shift up and release the parking brake, and then we can actually just get a move on. So yeah, I don't know whether you've been following the news from Aerosoft, but basically it's interesting to me to see what they're going to be doing with the console version, because like, if you followed my last two videos on this game, especially discussing the console version, you'll probably have picked up that I'm not exactly looking with great optimism towards the console release, especially based on Aerosoft's previous console releases of games like On the Road Truck Simulator, Autobahn Police Sim, things like that, because they haven't been fantastic. They've been lacking, especially in the performance area, and also in things like the shadow draw distance and just draw distance in general, really. So this is kind of some of the things that put me off. And in some of the promotional videos that have been released so far, showing both the Xbox Series X version and PS5 version, the frame rate looks a little bit choppy to me. And I think I confirmed it via the comment section that the console version is running at 30 FPS. So yeah, there's a lot to take home there. And even on the PC version, you do see a little bit of draw distance issues. I don't know whether you noticed that on the tower in the distance there. I spotted it. It kind of drew my attention away from what I was saying, even just on account of breaking the immersion, and that's just something that happens. And it happened a lot with some of the console games that I used to play. You know, we see it on things like Train Sim World. We've seen it on every version of Train Sim World, with the shadow draw distance and draw distance in general just being pretty poor, being pretty lackluster. But I am expecting performance issues on the console versions of this game. And as previously mentioned, it's not going to be coming to previous generations in terms of consoles. It's not going to be available for PS4 or Xbox One, no matter whether you, even if you've got the Pro or the One S or One X version. You're going to be pretty much stuck unless you've got a current gen console such as the Xbox Series consoles or the PS5. So yeah, I mean, there is some positives to talk about, I think, and that's the fact that the whole map's going to be open. So from day one, when you buy the console version of Fernbus, you are going to end up with a fully open map. You won't need to buy the additional map packs that you do need to buy on PC. And I did confirm in the comments actually that on one of the Aerosoft videos I asked that if the PC version would ever get a complete edition in terms of having all the maps unlocked, and unfortunately no. We still need to buy the separate maps on PC. So if you want the likes of the rather nice looking France or Italy or Netherlands, then you're going to have to pay for those separately, which is, in my opinion, a little bit poor play. I think that we could really have done with an open map. And yeah, it's just one of those things which is rather rough. What's going on with the AI traffic here, I wonder? Waiting to see if we make any forward progress here before I have to start taking matters into my own hands, which I have done on previous videos. The price point is worth discussion as well, so I think they were saying €40, which isn't too bad really, but it does make you think whether they're obviously starting at that price point and trying to obviously hit as many get as many customers roped in as possible. I think any future DLC will be charged and payable. I don't know what's going on with this AI traffic here. Let's see if I can reverse a little bit. Oh, thank you, taxi driver 1 and 2. You've made it so much easier for me to get through here. Oh man, well, I don't know what to say. This is a farce and something that happens often with this game. They really should have it sorted. Okay, I think we'll have to go. Ah, okay, they're moving now. Dude, you see, you can't really win in those scenarios. I mean, we could have sat there, but who knows how long we would be sat there. I've known this game where you sat there just for almost forever, waiting for the AI to sort itself out. It's not on. It needs sorting out. It's the same with Tourist Bus Simulator. Similar things happen. Even with the bus, I've noticed a few issues, which we will get to cover in that game on this channel, by the way. I would like to cover that game and have a good play of that one and show you kind of what it's all about. And we will get to that at some point. But it's rather frustrating, I think, when you do have AI issues like that, which are obviously solvable, when the traffic's not so heavy, but it's still an issue. As I'm just glancing down at my phone here just to see if there's any further notes that I hadn't already discussed. So, one thing I do want to mention is the control system on the new game, on the new console version, should I say. So, you do have, obviously, steering wheel support according to the latest news videos, but I find that van across the way rather distracting, the way you can almost see straight through it. But I do think it might be rather questionable whether the steering wheel support's going to be there from the start or not. I think they've said it's going to be. And for example, Tourist Bus Simulator did have steering wheel support from the start. But On the Road Truck Simulator still hasn't got it. And that's on Xbox, I mean. So it's... yeah. It's questionable in my opinion, and whether it'll actually be there or not is another thing altogether. You've also got the same sort of menu system for control that Tourist Bus Simulator's got, where you select from a horizontal list of options. So that's a bit different as well. Right, let's just pull in here, do our pickup. There we go. We'll do our opening of the doors and we'll step down and see if we can get these folks checked in. We'll get this open as well for their bags. We will log in. So let's see. So we are doing a 12:02 pickup from Frankfurt to the France flight departure. Yes, FRA, not France. Oh man, you're okay. On you come. Okay, let's see where this guy's going. Okay, that is our next stop, so you're good. Still need to learn some of these stops. Yeah, you are good. Yes, you are good, although you've got a bit of a long journey there, mate, if you're going all the way to the airport. Yeah. Are we going there? We are. Yes, it is. Yes. So I'm expecting a couple of these too. So you want to travel there, do you? Darmstadt. Okay, that's the next stop. So sail. So Darmstadt, check. Is that it? Ah, there we go. We did it.
Hello, is this security?
No, that's not us, mate. Yes, you have, unfortunately. Yes, you're good. So just the one who's denied entry because they were after a later bus and going somewhere else. We'll get the door closed. And what we'll do is just get this baby into gear, release the parking brake. We will indicate, and away we go. So yeah, I mean, let me know in the comment section what you think about the console version. We are going to switch the internet on. Bear with me a sec, mate. Let's see. Wi-Fi, kitchen, whoops, kitchen, WC, leading right, passenger light. We won't play announcement because that just takes forever and it can be a little bit annoying. I'm sure these folks know the rules by now of riding this bus. It's a case of behave yourself and we'll get you there in one piece, hopefully. Yeah, I don't know as well on the mic. Can you hear the steering wheel? Because it's not the quietest thing. It's not exactly loud, but it's also, yeah, it's not quiet in terms of you should be able to hear the belt. I'm going to have a listen back myself as well. But yeah, I mean, there's some positives about the console release that I think, you know, it's good. I mean, the reason that I say it's good is because you don't really have a great deal of selection on console anyway. We covered them on this channel, generally speaking, with Tourist Bus Simulator and Bus Simulator. So there's not many more. I mean, there's one other. I think there's one other console bus simulator that we didn't cover on this channel. It's rather rough, I do have to say. And I need to put the wipers on. Let me see if I can find this without crashing. Well, I don't think it's there. Hold on. Oh my days. I've never had to do this before. It's nice to see though, because the dynamic weather's pretty cool. Okay, can we turn this? Okay, we can't. Right, let's have a look in the controls because that's going to help. Controls, wipers. Surprised I don't have a button for it set up on the whatchamacallit, on the steering wheel, to be honest with you. No, we need man's lines coach, that's why. Toggle 1 and toggle high beam wiper. So it's going to be F4. And there we go. So it's rather nice to see the dynamic weather, I think. Hope you agree. It's pretty cool. I think. Similar to the bus. Fantastic when it actually works. Once again, questionable AI activity. Rather hits you with the fear factor. But I will say that I'm glad that we could get out of there. It's not always bad. Let me know how it comes across for you guys as well, but I'd say the look of the road once the water's sort of fallen, once the rain's come down, and the shine, the reflection, I think is rather nice. I can get an external view here for you. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool myself. I think it looks pretty good. And it does affect your driving as well, so when you brake it's far more slippery. Yeah. So this is a rather long journey of around about 4 hours, but we're not going to need fuel at this point because we're just setting off. That car in front looks like it sort of disappeared into the road there. Still rather difficult to see visibility wise. Now I know it's raining and obviously visibility is going to be reduced, but that just seems like it's almost transparent. So we're coming onto the motorway, autobahn / highway, depending on what you want to call it, and this should be interesting, especially once we get up to high speeds in this weather, depending on how the AI sort of tests us, because this game will test you, that's for sure. Cars have a tendency, well, vehicles generally have a tendency to brake right in front of you, especially when you're checking out the luxurious scenery. And yeah, it's just one of those things where I find that 9 times out of 10 when I'm driving there is some sort of accident, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happens during this video as well, because it does happen. But yeah, I was rather bummed to hear that there's no complete PC version coming, because I do think that some of the other maps look fantastic, like Paris, for example, the France one. And yeah, it'd be good to drive in those cities and just to enjoy it, because out of all of the sort of negative feelings that I have towards the console version, I do think that the general feel of this game, the general ethos of this game, the general sort of playability of this game and enjoyment of it is positive. It is good. What's this truck doing in front here? Hopefully they're not going to brake randomly, because sometimes you do get that on these roads when they get confused. We ourselves are coming off here to go round and under, and hopefully there's no cars in front of us, because they do tend to go a little slow. So while we're going down here, I'm just going to hit escape, just take a look at the smartphone just to see how we're doing. So 12:29. I think generally speaking we're doing all right. No, we don't want to do that. But yeah, 12:29. Our next stop is at 11:08. We'll see how we do to get there. As I say, we'll probably split this video up into pieces. So I'll probably do the first little part here, the first leg, and then we'll push on and do another video. There might be some more news available to us then, but as we know so far anyway, the console release is going to be February. There's a physical release on PS5. It's going to be around about €40 across the board, depending on how that translates into your local currency, i.e. pounds, dollars, US dollars should I say. And yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty good. The only thing I would say is I don't know why there's no physical Xbox release. If I was an Xbox player, I think I'd be a little bit annoyed about that. But the good thing about that is Xbox are rather good with the refunds. So if you're unhappy with the performance, if you're unhappy with any aspect of the game, as long as you request a refund fairly swiftly and you don't sort of leave it like a couple of days or something, you will get a refund from Microsoft. I know, because I've done it many times because of games not being up to the standard that they should be, or even pieces of DLC not being up to the standard that they should be. I just go to that Microsoft refunds page, hit the relevant buttons. Sometimes you don't even need to give a sort of massive reason. You can just select the drop down of the game not being playable for performance reasons, and yeah, you get your refund as long as you don't leave it too late, as long as you haven't had too many refunds in the last 12 months as well, I think is a factor. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that service, to be honest with you. PlayStation, in terms of refunds, yeah, it's a bit of a shocker really. Although with the physical release, I would say you can probably get a refund from Amazon. They tend to be really good with refunds, to be honest with you. If the game isn't up to scratch, I just refund it as a game which isn't working, because that's honestly the best sort of option out of the ones that they give for a refund. For a reason for return, the game isn't working. I mean, if it's not playing correctly, if the performance is rubbish, the game's not working, in my opinion. So yeah, take that as you will. I'm just trying to give you the best sort of consumer advice on that, which is that if the game's not working, then you can request a refund. Got a bit of a cough going on, bear with me. Sorry there folks, out of lane, and also just had to grab a little drink there. So we're now at the front of the queue. Thankfully we've managed to push across. See how we're doing for time. So yeah, we've got a decent amount of time, I'd say, to get to our next stop. That's not real time, so the actual 4 hours of this journey won't take that long. It's probably about half, or maybe even a third of that, I'd say, something like that. But yeah, enjoying this weather, to be honest with you. I just think it looks good. I mean, look at the shiny surface in front of us there. So yeah, please do let me know in the comments section if you will be picking up the console version, and if so, which console you're looking to play on. If you're going to be playing on a wheel or if you'll be using a controller. I'm not sure whether you'll have access to a keyboard on console, whether they'll make that an option. It certainly wasn't one that was included with Tourist Bus Simulator, so I wouldn't hold high hopes for the option to control things by keyboard or to look around with the mouse, for example, which would be beneficial things, to be honest with you, especially to be able to look with the mouse if you're driving. Oh, that was rather close. If you're driving with a steering wheel, you'd, in my opinion, you'd prefer to look with the mouse, or at least to be able to quick glance left and right, which is two things you couldn't do with Tourist Bus Simulator, which is also by TML, by the way, all released under the Aerosoft publishing banner. I'm pretty sure we're fairly close to this stop now. Yeah, it's coming up. So if you've enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button. Really hope you have. It would help me out a great deal against the algorithm. What we'll do is here, we'll make a stop, take a look at the time. What time is it? So we're about 8 minutes early, to be honest with you, but that's not going to stop us from checking these folks in. We'll get them checked in, and then we will end this video. What are you doing here, son? Just stood there. All right. Okay, so you are in the right place. Glad you got here early, because we will be leaving here early. And you were just stood here as well, I guess, waiting. You are... let's check. To keep checking the destinations. There's a few folks just waiting here by the looks of things. Quite a few, to be honest with you. Check you. Yeah, you are good. Yeah. Hamburg? I'm pretty sure we're not going there. Nope. Nope, definitely not going to Hamburg. You two, unfortunately, I think are a little bit lost or need a different bus. Let's get this closed. As you can see here, the effects there, the water effects are rather nice. We'll close this as well. As I say, folks, really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope to catch you guys again soon. Take care.